I have an issue with it being on PlayStation with many games that are like this when they just get imported. It's like City Skylines that I have on PlayStation. All the buttons just don't quite work in the right way. It's like when you get a new phone and like everyone likes iOS because iOS has better like software, has better ways to work it. It's like the software that they've created isn't meant to be on PlayStation, and they don't update it properly or to the best way with the new buttons and new configuration. They just kind of slap it on and it doesn't have the same feel about it. Like City Skylines, I bet, is a completely different game on PC, and I've been tempted to buy it even though I have it on Xbox, because I know it will just play 10 times better on PC. You know, I can go into this little block that I've got and I can move it like really intricate with my mouse. Is that going to be really difficult on a console? I don't know, I feel like it will be. And then you have like rotate, and I can do these really quickly, but I'm going to have to go through every single button and select it, whereas a mouse I have like complete control of what I want to do. So I think it's just playing other games, like playing Sims as well on PS4. It just doesn't flow nicely, and it's very similar in a game style. Like that's what I'm worried about, Mike. It might not be as good on PC as console, but I think it'll be decent. I hope it is decent for you, Mike. I'm a bit worried that it's going to drop and that it's just not going to do as well or not feel as well. I hope they have put enough time into it. Just have low expectation throughout life, and then whatever's good is really good. No, I'm joking. That's not the way to be. Not at all. High expectation. I'm nervous now, Tom. I'm sorry, bro. It's just, I wasn't gonna lie to you and be like, oh yeah, I think it's gonna be sick, you know, just because I played games that go like that, and I've never played one that's transitioned from PC to like not never played one, but I've never played one that I've been like, wow, this plays amazingly. There's always a flaw in some way, whether it's just like small and you can get past it, or it's massive. So if anyone doesn't know, I play Planet Coaster quite a bit. This is the console dev diary, so we're just going to watch this through from Planet Coaster.
When you move a game like Planet Coaster onto console, everything changes really, because you're playing with a gamepad, of course. There aren't really established conventions for how you control and interact with the game like this on console, because there isn't really a game like this on console.
It is looking kind of clean, you know. I was just a bit worried that it wasn't going to run as smoothly. I think it might do,
because there isn't really a game.
Do you know, like for the bigger parks that kind of crash on PC, are they going to actually crash on console as well?
Like
I'm not too sure.
On console.
We wanted to bring the full Planet Coaster experience to our console players. So rather than looking
really
at
nice
things
eyes.
that didn't fit so well on console and saying, well, we've got to remove these to make it work better, we instead went with the approach of, well, how can we change it to make it work better with the console?
One of the key development processes we went through was ensuring the game was fun to play, easy to access, and intuitive, but still retains the level of detail in the construction and management that you can go into with Planet Coaster.
So as part of Planet Coaster console, we've added a new camera mode that allows you to build from the perspective of the track as you go around, and really feel like you're kind of riding the coaster as you place piece by piece.
That looks sick. Wait, I think that building a coaster in that way and getting that experience would be pretty sick, because you don't really know like how high you are compared to everything else when you're building a coaster right now. I hope big parks run well. I want to build a big park, yeah. No one wants to build like a really small park, do they? Like everyone wants to be able to expand and keep expanding and keep expanding. So from that, look on this, it's 2,800 guests. They've also, look at all the interface. It's completely different. It's clearly new.
As you're moving left and right, and as you're doing your sort of bank turns and things, the camera will actually follow the track. You get the experience of almost riding the roller coaster as you're building it.
That's cool.
Camera systems for games are extensive, and there's a lot more to them than just coming up with something that sounds great in theory and implementing it. If it's slightly off, it feels completely wrong, even if it's off in a way that you can't quite pinpoint. So a lot of what we did was trial and error, changing things, testing them out, getting feedback, tweaking them to make sure that it all just felt right when you're using a console.
One of the goals we had with Planet Coaster console was making it a lot more accessible to new players, whilst maintaining the depth that's there for the more advanced players.
So for the UI, we rebuilt everything. So we built, we reworked how it's supposed to, how it's interfaced with the user, how buttons and panel.
Oh, I want to see that. So what do we have here? Park options, park rating, guest happiness. So this is what we usually have on like the, we click the top, we click the park management, don't we? This feels much more console-y. So I'm so glad they've done this already. This looks so much nicer and so much cleaner.
Buttons and panels and prompts are all redesigned so that players have a better experience playing on the console.
One of the advantages of really rethinking the UI and rethinking the tools from a console perspective is that we're able to add features that actually build a layer of consistency between different tools. So, for example, with the radial menu, which offers quick action.
Advanced move, surface move, right camera. That's cool. So this will be like, you'll hit like, I take it you'll hit one of these like up buttons and then go over to select. That's cool.
Access to key actions, a bit like the keyboard shortcuts of the original game.
The radial menu updates with every different edit mode that you go into, so whether you're editing track or placing buildings, the shortcuts available to you will be specific to that mode. For example, if you are placing track, you might be able to access the different smoothing options to make your track as beautiful to ride for your guests as possible, whereas when you're editing scenery, it gives you quick and easy access to duplication and advanced move tools.
I was always worried about that as well, like how precise you could be about the movement on console. So that's good. All of this sounds sick already.
I've been really pleased with how seamless and natural it feels when you're manipulating track pieces using the joysticks, placing track down. It's really quick and it's really easy.
So one of the things we've done to help people start creating a park as quickly as possible and as easily as possible is we've introduced hundreds of new blueprints.
And whether you want to play sci-fi, fantasy or fairy tale blueprints, there's something for everyone.
Players who don't necessarily want to spend hours and hours creating a tiny little detailed building can just select one of these blueprints, place it down, and have a really cool looking park in next to no time.
I'm not really that bothered about that. I like making my own.
Are still able to craft intricate pieces, set pieces, and
this is what I'm interested in.
Really fine tune how they want your park to look like.
So you have that choice between whether you want to go right in, all the
good,
details, build everything from the ground up, or start off your park with a few more pre-made pieces just to get off to a quicker start. You have that choice of how you want to play.
It's remarkable really how far we've come that you can play a game as deep as Planet Coaster on a gamepad and it just feel like the way it was meant to be played.
We're really looking forward to share more of what we've been working on with you over the next months, and we really hope you enjoy playing it when it comes to release.
Well, I was hesitant to see how it would flow onto console and if it just would be a reskin of the actual game or how much of a reskin it would be, I guess, because I played games before that have started off on PC like Sims and like City Skylines, and then they've moved over to console and it just doesn't feel the same. Every button and every command you can do just doesn't translate from PC over to Xbox or PS. But everything they've talked about has been about how it works on console. They aren't just reskinning it, you know? It looks like this is going to be a series as well, Dev Diary 1. Yeah, it looks cool. Does it have a release date? Still holiday 2020. So that yeah. I mean, Christmas? Is that when it's going to come? There's a little menu here. So we have coasters, track rides, facilities, scenery, create. What is create? Is that like building on your own? So you wouldn't click scenery or blueprints. And you have staff at the bottom as well, which is new because that was not always it is under park management. But I say the shading doesn't look as good as far back as you go, but maybe that's the lighting time. Like this kind of looks a bit pixelated. You know what? I might be picking that up. I feel like I might be picking that up, you know? Even though I've already got the game. So that is a massive, benefit.